Hi everyone, this is Josh Culp. We are learning Daf Shvui. We are on Masechet Gittin, Daf Kaf Daled, and I wanted to talk today a little bit about the concept of a woman who is not divorced but is considered to be disqualified from marrying a Kohen. The ramifications of this are that if her current husband dies, she won't be able to marry a Kohen, even though a widow is allowed to marry a Kohen. This woman is enough divorced that she won't be able to subsequently marry a Kohen. And even worse, if her husband is current husband is a Kohen and he gives her a failed divorce, she won't be able to stay married to him because she's divorced enough that she can't be or stay married to a Kohen. It's a strange concept. To point out, there's a dispute in our Gemara between Rav and Shmuel about when this is true vis-a-vis the Gittin that are given in our Mishnah. The first get in the Mishnah, this is the first Mishnah in chapter 3, was not written to be used as a get. It was written as a practice document. So Rav says all of the other Gittin, which were written to be a real get, but not for this particular woman, disqualify her from being married to a Kohen. The first one doesn't, because the first one's not a real get. It was just a practice document. And Shmuel says even the first one disqualifies her. And I wanted to talk a little bit about just where does that concept come from, that a woman can be not divorced, but still enough of a divorcee in order that she can't marry subsequently a Kohen. And Rashi cites a midrash on Daf Pei Bet Amud Bet, where we have Rabbi Yochanan who says, citing the verse from Leviticus 21 about the prohibition of a man of a Kohen marrying a divorcee. The verse says, "V'isha grusha mi'isha lo yikachu." A woman divorced from her husband, they shall not marry. Meaning the Kohanim. And the syntax is a little strange here, and which is what Rabbi Yochanan picks up. A woman divorced from her husband, from her husband is superfluous. And as we've learned many times, rabbis are particularly attentive to words that are superfluous in the Torah, and use those words to find new meaning, new halachot that are not in the Torah itself. And Rabbi Yochanan points out, "Afilun lo nitgarsha ela mi'isha nifsara minakuna." What we learned from that midrash is even if she's only divorced from her husband, she can't marry a Kohen. Now he's referring to the particular case there of a man who says, "Behold, you are divorced from me, but you can't marry anyone," a topic we will spend quite a bit of time on in the 9th chapter, which we'll get to in about a year and a half, maybe a little bit less, maybe a year and a quarter. But so I don't want to get into that topic right now. But what we have here is the first case, a precedent for a woman who can be divorced, but only vis-a-vis the Kohanim, meaning she can't marry a Kohen, but she's not really divorced and she can't go marry anyone else that she wants. And that gets sort of picked up and brought into other areas. The Gemara calls that reach haget, the scent of a get. And basically rabbis debate throughout the rest of the Talmud when we have the reach of a get or when we just have a totally get pasul, a get that is not a get at all. And perhaps over here, when we think about the term reach haget, if we think, I know this isn't sort of particularly nice to women, but the reason why a Kohen cannot marry a divorcee is she's been rejected. And there's something about that seems to be the core of the reason why a Kohen can't marry a divorcee. A woman who receives a get that's invalid has also been, to a certain extent, rejected by her husband, just invalidly rejected by her husband. In other words, his kavanah is probably the same. He wants to divorce his wife. It just doesn't work because it hasn't fit the technical stringencies of a get. And therefore, the Amoraim are lean towards saying you can have such a thing as a get that doesn't work vis-a-vis divorce, but is effective enough that she can't marry a Kohen. It's a concept that comes up quite a bit, and it's good to remember throughout this Masechet that we're learning Gittin that a consequence of being a divorcee is the prohibition of subsequently marrying a Kohen.